The person who's been my strongest role model really has been two people, my parents. The individuals they are, the characters, how they've engaged with people and how they've brought me and my sister up as youngsters through to adulthood has left a really lasting impression. They're both immigrants, came from Grenada and Jamaica to London, met each other, got married, fell in love and had two girls, and really all they wanted was a better life, and they worked really hard. And from them I've learned things like resilience and strength of character, landing in a city that has it says on the doors of bars and clubs and nightclubs, no blacks, no Irish and no dogs. But in the face of that, they taught us lessons like be kind to people, treat people how you'd like to be treated yourself, and never judge a book by its cover. That's really, really strong. And those lessons have really stayed with me and generally mean that I have the outlook on life today that they've taught me. I've had a number of sponsors in my career, all at different times and at different stages of my growth and development, each of which have shouted my name and been given really favourable comments about me to people and in places where my voice can't reach, which I'm truly appreciative. I'd say since I've been at Zurich over the last 2.5 years, I've had a fantastic sponsor who has been very supportive in my development and my growth. And has been a huge advocate and an ambassador for Rose St Louis, which is wonderful. And I would say that they are as responsible for the success and my promotion at the end of last year as I have been for putting all the hard work and energy into that. I think the most important decision that I face as a leader in the business is how to allocate my time and prioritising the work I have to do. And to understand that I'm not failing if I don't get to everything. So as a result, delegation is really important. Trusting people and empowering people to make decisions on my behalf for the benefit of the business and for the team is really important. Giving people that empowerment also allows them to raise their profile. So that's only a good thing as well. The advice for a new employee going to a leadership position, so many things. I would say one of the main pieces of advice would be state intent rather than asking for permission. You're in a leadership position because you are assumed to be able to take control and make decisions within your remit. So don't ask for permission to do things that you know are in your remit. Just go ahead and do it and tell people that's what you're going to do. Another thing I would say is don't feel you have to do everything. It's really important to lead by example and take the front, but also you can lead alongside or lead from behind and empower people to execute and take actions on your behalf, on behalf of the team. And that's actually in itself quite powerful. So you don't have to carry the whole weight of the world on your shoulders. Understand that your tone and your attitude will set the tone of the team. So it's really important to be positive and to be strong and to have good energy, to be passionate, allow that passion to shine through. But don't feel that you have to do everything. So learning the art of delegation earlier on is really important. And by delegating to others, you allow them to go on their own leadership and development journey as well. So to be able to foster an environment of growth and development within your own people is a really powerful thing to do as well. So the final piece of advice I'd give to a new leader would be trust in your ability to do the job. You've got yourself to a leadership position through hard work and determination and being able to deliver. So the people that promoted you into that role, your peers and your own leadership team, believe that you can be successful and they believe that you can actually do that. So the only thing left is for you to believe that you can do it too. So a really good resource that you can use to become a better leader is your network. So your network are the people who do a very similar job to you and think and act in a really similar way to you, but may have different skill sets to you. There's that saying that you should rub shoulders with people that you aspire to be like, and within your network there will be those people. So that's your opportunity to approach them and say, can I have some advice? What do you think about this? I've seen you've been successful running this project. What made it good? What are the things that I need to steer clear of? Who did you use for help? And generally within a network, people will be really supportive and they'll want to help you. So the network is a really, really important resource. We all have them through LinkedIn or whatever other resources. So absolutely use them. Another great resource are the people that you work with and soliciting feedback from those people. So whether it's, what am I doing really well? What am I not doing well? What should I do differently? And when you ask for feedback, allow people to speak and be quiet when they speak. Resist the urge to say, yeah, but, and justify your actions. Just really hold tight, allow people to give you the feedback, and then let it marinate for a little bit. And sometimes it's a bit difficult to receive feedback, especially when, sometimes you actually know what it is that you're going to hear, and it's something that you're not very good at and you need to work on. And that's okay, because no one's perfect. So soliciting feedback, listening to the feedback and letting it marinate is really important. And the reason you want to do that is because sometimes it's really difficult to actually give feedback if it's constructive. So if someone does actually do that and you want them to do that again, make sure you're not hostile with that feedback and just take some time on it. Another great resource would be books. Read. I love a bit of a self-help book, anything that's developmental and helps me to learn. One of the best books that I've read around leadership was Legacy, and it's all about what we could learn as leaders from the All Blacks. There are some amazing quotes in there around, leave the shirt in a better place. So you don't have to go all of the journey, but you're making sure that you move forward. And there's another great saying about leaders will sweep the floors. So, when you finish playing rugby and there's loads of dirt in the changing rooms and everyone's gone home, it's the captain and the vice captain that will sweep the floors and tidy it up, and remembering that you're humble and that you can look after your team and you don't necessarily have your team look after you. So there's some great books out there. There's some great learnings and sayings. So just seek them out. Deciding on the right candidate for a role is not just about qualifications or which university you've been to. It's about so much more than that. I assume that people who are sitting in front of me interviewing for a role already have the technical competencies to do the role, and there's a wider piece around cultural fit and diversity within the team. I think it's really important that you don't just recruit in your own image. I have a pretty strong personality. I'm a very motivating person. I don't need lots of me in my team. I need people who can be very technically competent. I need people that could be inspiring, people that could be motivating, people that can be empathetic, and people that can be very driven to make sure that all of the work that needs to be done, right through from concept and ideas, through to putting a project plan together and then implementing and executing that project, can all be harnessed in the same team. And it's only that way that you can get all of those personalities that will help you deliver your goals and contribute towards the success of the team. There are so many things that I do on a daily basis to ensure that my growth and development as a leader continues. I've got a coach, I've got an impact coach that I work with and I see monthly to ensure that I'm developing and I'm having the right impact on the business and more broadly and more widely throughout the whole of my life as well as my career. I often seek feedback, and not just from my leadership team, from my direct reports, my own team, and people that I work across the business with, to make sure that I'm a good manager, a good leader, a good stakeholder within the business. I support my clients and my intermediaries well. So I seek feedback both inside and outside the business. So another thing I do to ensure that I keep developing is I read. I read development books, I read leadership books, I read self-help books, anything that's going to give me a bit more insight into myself, how I think, why I think the way I think. In order to develop new thinking, you've got to change the way you think. So challenging myself around that is really, really important. Another thing that I do is that I make sure I rest properly and I take exercise. Taking exercise for my well-being just means that I can reset. and it means that I'm not overly tired all the time, and I can receive information and new ideas and have clear thinking. When you're just busy all the time, because work is demanding and the pressures are significant, but if you just keep piling and piling it on, you become less effective. So in order to be the best I can be, it's really, really important that I look after myself, and that means sleeping, eating well, and taking exercise too.